Joining us from our North County Bureau with the deeper meaning behind zombies and the horror genre is my guest, Natalie Wilson, professor of literature and women's studies at Cal State University San Marcos and the author of the book Seduced by Twilight, the allure and contradictory messages of the popular saga. Natalie, if you would, give us a brief history of zombies. Where did the idea of the living dead come from?
Well, it mainly emerged from Haiti during the time of colonialism and imperialism, and was a figure that represented Haitians as enslaved people. And one of the early films that gave this representation is White Zombie. And in that film, the Haitians are represented as zombified worker slaves. And there's this underlying message that should these zombified people revolt or take over, it would pose a threat to white society, white rule, and in particular to white America. There's a female from New York that is in Haiti, and this zombiedom is threatening her safety.
So we'll come back to that issue of race in just a moment, but how did the zombies go from Haitian folklore to this film and then finally make it so popular here in our pop culture today?
Right. Well, George Romero is usually considered very key in terms of changing the figure of the zombie and bringing it to the United States. So his 1968 film, Night of the Living Dead, as well as his many subsequent films, are icons of the genre. And he has used the zombie in a different way. The zombie is much more infectious, it spreads, it becomes a sort of apocalyptic character, and it's often decaying and being associated with death. And he's used this figure very politically, I would say, in all of his films to explore, firstly, the Vietnam War in his first film and racism, consumer capitalism in his second film. One of his more recent zombie films, Land of the Dead, really spoke to the war in Iraq as well as the wealth divide that has happened in the United States.
Well, you know, many of us know about the popular TV show The Walking Dead. There's graphic novels, there's video games. So why do these zombies continue to be so popular?
I think one of the reasons the zombie is such a popular figure is because it is a very permeable metaphor. It can be represented in so many different ways. And The Walking Dead, I would say, in a sense, is representing humans as more monstrous and malicious than the zombies themselves. And we do have this emergence of zombies that are more sentient, that have a consciousness, that are sympathetic. So there seems to be this exploration of how monstrous are we as humans and what things are we causing, and perhaps these things we define as monstrous and dangerous when we're actually the real danger.
I see. Now, you're currently co-authoring a book on the feminist perspective of zombies, vampires, and witches. How does the horror genre intersect with feminism?
Well, I think one thing is that women have been historically represented as sort of the monstrous sex. And here we can think of Medusa, the witch, demonic females, as well as the monstrous mother. So, in effect, horror has been a genre, both in literature and film and folklore, that often represents women as dangerous and infectious. So that representation is certainly of interest to feminism. But more generally, feminism is about social justice and equality for all people, and respecting difference and giving everyone equal opportunity. And the horror genre is something that is often perpetuating ideas that certain people don't deserve that. Certain people are other and dangerous. Therefore, it's sort of a key site to look at, because I do think it is a genre which has a lot to say about inequality and social injustice and how people learn to fear those represented as other than them.
Professor Natalie Wilson, thank you and happy Halloween Eve.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.